Star vs. the Forces of Evil is the property of Disney, Darren Nefsey, and all respective owners. Any and all images have been used for the sole purpose of critique or parody and as such are protected under fair use. Please support the official release. Hey, how are you? I'm Slice of Otaku and it's time for the review. Oh my god, this episode was amazing. This is what a good episode of Star vs. is capable of. I loved absolutely every moment of it. So this episode begins with Star's parents at the dinner table, and whereas River is devouring his megafowl, Queen Butterfly has yet to eat anything. It turns out she's worried about Star's progression now that Glossaryck is gone, saying that she is all alone in a crucial time in her training. And I immediately found this interesting. They're not even fazed by the potential threat Ludo now poses, but rather only focused on Star's training. River even goes as far as to say good riddance in regards to Glossaryck. With them taking such a stance, I can only see Ludo rocking their world. They are greatly underestimating him and it could be to their end, especially since Toffee has a hand in this. Haha, pun intended. Carrying on, Queen Butterfly proposes to bring Star back to Muni, and River objects to disrupting her life, so Queen Butterfly proposes an alternative move, evaluation. And you can tell by River's response to this that shit is about to go down, but the queen lets it loose anyways, and out comes our old friend Darkness jetting out of the castle in an instant, while also stealing River's megafowl. From here, River yells at it and refers to it as a monster. So are certain monsters of use actually kept by the Mumin royal family? I'm very curious as to how far a connection between monster and Mumin can go in this society. Are there any exceptions besides this one in which they're afforded special privileges? From here, the episode cuts to Star and it's hilarious. That eye patch teddy bear pleading with Star not to put him in the secret closet was just so perfectly executed. The voice acting was so on point there, it really drives the moment home. Star continues to clean, which when it comes to Star just means hiding everything. She summons the beanbag chair and oh man, between this and the bear I was just dying. The poor thing said, "Hey Star," and she doesn't even acknowledge him. She just shoves a bunch of trash in his mouth and tells him to hide. That's so messed up. She warps the rest of the trash away and Marco enters with a ton of food. Turns out she's preparing for the evaluation and is very aware of the consequences should she fail, which brings us the conflict of the episode. As she finishes saying this, the monster enters her room, sprawling its ominous darkness until its form is seen, and she's adorable. What's interesting about her design to me is the gem embedded in her forehead. This is a feature that Glossaryck shares, so it begs the question, is Glossaryck a monster as well? And if he is, how will that tie into Ludo, and will it? Apparently, the adorable monster's name is Baby, and she straight up devours the food Marco prepared and immediately asks for more. This is what keeps Marco away from the focus of this episode, making it more of a one-on-one engagement for Star. Now, the evaluation isn't exactly structured as its progression is based on how Star believes it should go. She proceeds to show Baby around her room being as plastic as possible in order to pass. Baby goes on to question the presence of the beanbag chair, and in an attempt to greet her, Beanbag actually throws up the trash Star was trying to hide. Baby denotes this to be interesting, and this is pretty much her response to just about everything she sees. It keeps her mind state a mystery, which only adds to Star's anxiousness to please her, escalating and progressing the episode quite nicely. Star attempts to divert attention to Marco and the snacks. She mentions snacks as the persuasion and Marco as the distraction, but Baby isn't having it. She hones in on Star's secret closet, and dude, the music for this episode is on point. The contradiction between Star being plastic and the intensity of the closet's presence is used so well that anyone watching this could immediately be able to comprehend the conflict. Baby opens the door and we see Toffee's finger still present and plain to see. They didn't mention it at all, but its presence in this moment just makes the viewer anxious and fearful and hype. Star then shows Baby her wand, and holy shit, when Baby looks into it, we see both light and dark. This is some creepy stuff. So if you think River referring to her as a monster was just a throwaway line, then think again. Baby notes how different it is from Queen Butterfly's wand, which simultaneously re-establishes the difference between Star and her mother. They are very different people, and when it comes time for Star to rule over Muni, she's bound to be a different leader, and it will be a different Muni.
Star moves on to showing Baby the spell book she's been working on, and once again, interesting. The big part of this episode is Star's demonstration of her spell casting. She's asked to bring an apple from one side of the room to the other and just can't seem to do it. None of her spells are conventional or practical in nature, so no matter what she does, it results in failure of the task given to her. And while I'm talking about this, let me point out that after Star uses her Narwhal Blast to pin the apple to the wall next to Baby, Baby picks it up and has it in her hand, but during an in-between frame, the apple isn't present, her hand is down. In the next frame, she has it in her hand. Unfortunately, these things happen in animation at times, and it doesn't subtract from the value of this episode at all. If it was a lower par episode, then I would say, okay, you guys slipped up with that, but this, no, it doesn't even do anything to the greatness of this episode. Star actually summons a creature to carry the apple from one point to another, and he just messes up. How? I don't know, but he somehow did. Star gets desperate and moves over to Baby and begins to perpetuate dark magic, altering and warping this apple. You can tell based on the sound her wand emits and the green light it releases. Baby is actually surprised by this development and actually has her mouth open and writes without even looking at her paper. She's in awe. And as Star is about to make another attempt, she stops her as the evaluation has concluded. When she asks how she did, Baby says she failed, and Star questions if everything was just a waste of time, which actually moves Baby to get real and read the results back to Star. A Closet of Secrets, the most important heirloom of the Butterfly Dynasty, broken. The Sacred Book of Spells, lost and replaced with a reworking Star herself is producing. And her magic is unstructured and undisciplined to the point where she is incapable of completing basic tasks with basic magic. Marco walks into the room at this point with more sandwiches, and Baby just goes monster mode, telling him to get out. Baby once again tells Star she failed, causing reality to set in for her. She for once focuses and raises her wand as it spirals a green aura. The music becomes structured and you can essentially feel the flow within yourself. This is the magic within Star. As she casts upon the apple, her beam is no longer just one color, pink or green. It is a mixture, it is both, there is balance. But yet again, she seems to have messed up and instead splits the apple in half. The music becomes one of despair and defeat as Baby says goodbye. But then it shifts to one of hope as a seed within the apple begins to grow into a tree. Marco re-enters the room, but this time with a bat, funny enough, and is mesmerized by this sight. Star has never created something so beautiful with her magic before. A branch of the tree extends in front of Baby with a perfect apple, and she is once again in awe. She smiles and leaves for Muni. When she returns, she recaps her evaluation to Queen Butterfly, who based on the results believes Star has failed, but Baby corrects her. Star is far beyond where her mother was at her age, and Baby hasn't seen anything like this since Queen Eclipsa. This doesn't excite the butterflies, it scares them. River even says, "Monster love?" Now, whether this is referring to Eclipsa's known relationship with a monster, or Star possibly sharing this trait with possibly Marco as the monster is up to interpretation at this point. The picture of Star on the wall then fades into an image of Eclipsa and is just so powerful. And now that we know this, let's look back on the evaluation. Okay, a closet of secrets. Well, royal families need secrets, I suppose, and if her closet is this congested, imagine how complex her thoughts are. That is incredible. That is a good thing. That's a good trait to have when it comes to casting magic. Yes, the wand was broken, but more than that, it's been altered. She has changed the path in which the Butterfly Dynasty will go down. That's incredible. That's something that not everyone is able to do, obviously. She is very different, even amongst, the royalty of the Butterfly family. The Sacred Book of Spells was lost, but rather than wallow in her sorrow and failure, she replaced it with a reworking that she herself is making. That's incredible. The past queens have pages within the book, but she is making her own book with her own spells. That's crazy. And lastly, her being incapable of perpetuating simple and basic spells and basic magic. Okay, She is just that much of a genius. That's the way that I perceive it, because from my experience, certain fundamentally basic concepts can be hard to perceive when looking at them from a complex perspective. This episode did it for me, guys. I am so happy. Like, I have never had a video be this long. We're hitting 10 minutes here. God damn! This episode's review is very different from my last one, and I don't know when you're gonna see that. I don't know if I'm gonna put it up before this one because I have to edit it, and like, I want to edit this video, but the last video, whatever. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments, and be sure to share this video with anyone who thinks that Star vs. the Forces of Evil is not a good show. Thanks for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.